The social society revolution, which happened then, basically between, say, 1992, 1994, was successful in that it has been able to impose the regime of freedom in all the countries, and of free elections, and of freedom of expression, freedom of the press, and the right to communicate. Thus, on the private media has then developed tremendously, but also a community media movement has started then, with the advocacy of the civil society to have a right to communication, which translated to the state granting licenses to community and social society organizations. And that struggle has been going on ever since, but is by and large now established. We have about, I don't know exactly, but we have thousands of community radios and community medias throughout. There are now only but a very few countries, less than 10 of them in the entire continent, which do not have a legislation positive for community media. But we are engaged also now in a struggle which is to have actual access, that is the equal access of the community media to the frequencies as to the private media or the state media. Actually, we have 10 years from now, since the 1990s, I think it was 2000, we have a charter which has been widely accepted by the whole of the civil societies in Africa for equal access, for sustainability of the community media, and which has been, all these principles have been subscribed to in what we call the African Charter on Broadcasting, which has been formally accepted by the most of the African countries, but not implemented. So our struggle nowadays is for the implementation of that charter. And what the charter says is, okay, not only equal access of the community radios, of the community to the frequencies, actually the community televisions as well, but it says also that that access should be enforced, that it should be implemented. It's not only that they should have a frequency, but it should have access to resources, training and financial resources, so as to be able to have medias which are actually sustainable in the long term. So that is the struggle going on now. But so far, well, in another part of the continent, which is the north, with the Arab Spring, the communities, the social movements, have by themselves seized to the social medias to make the voices of the social society heard. However, they are still now barred from access. They do not have access to the frequencies. So another part of the struggle, especially in North Africa, is for the social society, well, the society in general, to have access to the frequencies and to be able to have private and community radios and televisions. So by and large, the struggle now throughout Africa is at a stage of real access and freedom of expression for all. Most African countries still do not have a legislation implementing freedom of expression, of expression and access of information. Access of information now has become a step, an indispensable step that we have to conquer, because it's good and well to have access to the frequencies, to have access to social media, to the internet, but if you do not have access to the real sources of information, that is useless. That is critical because the media now, the social media and the community media, have entered a struggle where we are actually implementing the social and economic development agenda for the people, like community radios, community social media have, for example, been very instrumental in denouncing the land grabbing scheme which is going throughout Africa. The Panos Institute, for one, which representative is here, maybe in the course of this event she will be able to talk about it, has been, in the case of Senegal, been able to show throughout programs that they have developed with community radios how the land grabbing has been going on in some parts of Senegal. And another occasion also the budget, how the budget are used by the elites not for the interest of the masses, but for their own political purposes. So in short, we need, that is the purpose, the whole purpose of my and AMARC participation into this World Social Forum. We need a coalition to struggle for freedom of expression, freedom of information in Africa as elsewhere. Our struggle has reached a point now where it will be decisive for us to have not only equal access to the frequencies, but to have real freedom of information for the people, not only the journalists, the ordinary people, to have access to the information which is driving their own lives. How the budgets at the national level as well as the local level are decided, how they are allocated, where does the resources of the nation, the very scarce resources of the nation go to, what is the rationale, etc. So this is a struggle that we are engaged in, and we are very pleased to be with you, and we count very much on your support, and we are very much available to do our part in Africa.